New roof supports, Batman! Hello there and welcome back to Building the Boys. We now have the next 6 issues of Hachette's Build the Batmobile Tumbler, starting with number 59, which is roof supports for the roof, believe it or not. So over the next 6, what we're doing is we are building up the roof section of this. I don't know why, but we are, as is the mistress of the Tumbler. So you're going to need the roof parts that we built last month. So we started those. We're going to be pretty much finishing in the next 6. This will look nice when this is all built up. So we're doing the ailerons, which are going to move by motors eventually. But this will look a decent chunk of Tumbler by the time we've done this one. To begin with doing the roof rack, I've tried to figure out what this roof support is for. And I can. I'm assuming it just, I don't know. I don't think it does anything. I think it's one of those things where it looked cool. We put it on there. I think that's all it is. It probably had a purpose at some point. And I would imagine a camera was attached to it at some point or something like that. I think that's probably why it was on the vehicle, but I don't know. But I can't see any use. I've looked everywhere for this and I can't find it. I've looked pictures on the internet. I can see it's there. You can definitely see it, but I can't see it having any use whatsoever. But it's aesthetically, it's there, so we're going to do it. I genuinely reckon originally it was a camera rig or something that just happened to be left on the car. I don't know. But that's what we're building. So we're building the roof supports on this one. We are on to the Dark Knight as well. So in our journey through Batman's kind of cinema appearances, we have landed at the Dark Knight, which is seminal. I mean, it's the high point of the Batman movies. It is. Whether you like it or not, whether you agree with it or not, it's the high point of Batman movies. It is. That's widely regarded that way. And we're going to talk all about the production of that, the filming of that, the tragedy of Heath Ledger as well, and we'll go into all the details of it because no one expected it to be the monster that it became. I mean, everyone was kind of looking forward to it, but before this, no one expected it to become what it became. But without further ado, let's get this one open. Let's get this one built. If you haven't yet, please remember to like and subscribe. It helps the channel massively. But let's get this going, Dark Knights. Okay, so this is how it would look what comes in number 59. See, now, I know I keep banging on about this. I used to have a problem with the Dark Knight thing being printed on the boxes because you think it's wasteful. I've got an even bigger problem with the numbers being printed on there. At least if it was just Dark Knight, you could multi-purpose these boxes, but I'd imagine a lot of these boxes are going to go into pulp. But, oh well. I just think it's unnecessary, but okay. Right, so not a lot really. These are the elements to build roof rack. I mean, so Batman can carry whatever he wants on there. He can carry his luggage if he's going on, like an EasyJet weekend to Paris or something, or he could, carry his bike on there. It's what it is. We're making a roof rack. So let's bring the roof over. Let's get this put together. Okay, so to begin with, we are going to take the piece got 2 on the side of it, which is this one here. So we've got 2. And we're going to take this one here, and this is going to clip into the sides like so. So quite simply, push to fit. And that's it. Right, now what we're going to do is we are going to bring over the roof section, which had one of these on it, which was bizarre. Like that one issue we screwed one of these in. We didn't need to. They could have just given us the roof and that would have been it for that one. But at least you had something to do. So when you say about there's not much to do, at least you've got something to do. I have issues with the Gauntlet where you literally just receive the part. And they could have quite easily done that with this, but they didn't. So that's a plus. Right, so let's bring this roof part over. This is this here, and you can see we've got one of these already put on. So what we're going to do is these pieces are going to slot in there like we just did with the other one. So hopefully these should fit in there, and they do. Do they? What am I doing? There we go. Got it wrong. You know when you're making something like way more complicated than it needs to be. That's what I've got going on at the moment. Right. I'm going to push to fit that one in there, and then that's going to sit in there like so. Christ. All right, let's get close. There we go. I had to hold that right in front of my face. Let's get this dust off here. Right, I'm going to flip this one over, and we're going to put in a single screw, like we did when we put that first one in, to hold this in place. Now, these are BP screws. So we're going into plastic, so no need to oil these. That would be overkill. So let's get one of these loaded up. Let's get this screwed in. Yeah, as I said, I mean, they could have just given you the roof piece. Well, that's it. There's no build this month. Because they do that this week. They do that with quite a lot. I mean, I've seen that in loads of part works where they do that. So at least they gave you a little something to do. So, you know, for all of its wrongs, they should have something to do. Because as I said, they do it with the gauntlet all the time. You would see these hulking great lumps of gauntlet, and they go, there's no build. But you've got this massive piece of gauntlet. There we go. So that is that one locked in. Now, I would imagine we're going to do the exact same thing again. I will say this as well. It would have been easier to do that one the way we're about to do this one. But it's what it is. Right, so again, we are going to take 2 and 1. That's going to slot in there like so. And then this piece is going to slot in here. Yeah, it'd be easier to put on in one piece. When I say that. There we go. So that's that together. Now I would imagine we're going to touch the bars and then screw it in. And I would be right. So we're going to put that to one side. Bring this one over. We take our bars here. Now you'll see one side there are grooves in them. One grooves facing down. Right. So I'm going to pop this one in here and here like so. And then what we want to do is take this one, connect to there. Yeah, I don't know what the bloody hell. I think it just looks good. I don't think it really serves a purpose. He's got a rack in case he needs it, I suppose, but I don't think it does anything. I've looked and looked and looked to see if there's anything attached to it. There ain't. So I think it's just for aesthetics. And I mean, we've got to be honest, Batman is all about the style, isn't he? There's a lot of stuff that you think, well, that seems largely pointless, but it looks cool. Right, let's flip this one over. And we're going to hold this in place with 2 of the AP screws. So here goes the first one. One. And here comes number 2. And don't overscrew these, man. You go into plastic, you can just bore the plastic out. Don't do that. Right. There we are. There is our finished rack. That's what that looks like. That's where that goes. And that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, is this one complete. Let's have a chat. Is that one complete? There we are. Roof rack. That's it. Done. Yeah, it's looking good. I mean, it's bringing it to life a bit. It's not just a... that is the way it sits on the car. So if you think it sits that way round, it doesn't. It sits that way round. The front of the car will be here. It sits this way. I'm convinced it was for a camera rig. I might be wrong. But that's all for that one. If you are just sticking around for build instructions, thank you for stopping by. If you're sticking around for our bat chats, we are talking about this one. So at the time of production, no one thought it was going to become the movie it became. And there was faith in it because Batman Begins had become the first hit that a DC movie had had in years. I mean, we talked about some of the flops that have come before this over the past 10 years. And yeah, it was, some expectations were high, but not huge. Now, everyone liked Batman Begins. They were like, just a bit more of that would be all right, thank you. Well, they really, really, really enhanced that. So the production of it was, this got rushed into production. It was like, right, green light, go, 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 go. But as we've discussed in the background, they were trying to make Justice League and God knows what else. The one thing that remained consistent is they just didn't stop on the Dark Knight. They just kept going. They were confident with what they had, and they were like, you know what, we don't care what they're doing. Dark Knight's coming. And part of the beauty of them messing around with Justice League and things like that is they weren't interfering on the set of the Dark Knight. So a script was written, and now they had somewhat painted themselves into a corner at the end of the Dark Knight, at the end of Batman Begins, where the Joker card is handed by Commissioner Gordon. Suggests, well, you know, it's Chekhov's gun. You can't show it. If you show it, you got to show it. So, Joker was going to be the main antagonist of the Dark Knight. So then, we got a hunt for the Joker, because all of the cast, with the exception of Katie Holmes, are returning. Now, why isn't Katie Holmes returning? Well, word goes is that she'd signed up to make a film called Funny Money. That ain't true. Because they sign you up to a lot of movies. She got out of her contract basically at this time, and this is a long time ago. The Katie Holmes, Tom Cruise weird press wagon was in full kind of swing, with Tom Cruise jumping up and down on sofas on the Oprah Winfrey Show and all the weirdness that was coming out between those two. And I think the company just went, you know what, let's just part ways. So Maggie Gyllenhaal was recast as Rachel Dawes. But everyone else is coming back. So you need two antagonists. We need a new protagonist and antagonist. The new antagonist was going to be the Joker. But then also we need Harvey Dent. Let's talk about Harvey Dent first. So Christopher Nolan wanted somebody who was clean-cut all-American. They said they want, the archetype of kind of good American boy. So they looked at a lot of actors for it. Ryan Felipe was considered. Mark Ruffalo was considered. He auditioned for it, as did Matt Damon. Matt Damon was their first pick. They wanted Matt Damon for this movie to play Harvey Dent, but couldn't. He had commitments elsewhere, so he couldn't do it. But Matt Damon was the number one choice for Harvey Dent. So why did they choose Aaron Eckhart? Well, it's a weird one, because you look at it now and everybody's career after Dark Knight did well. Aaron Eckhart, you don't really see much of him anymore. And before Dark Knight, he wasn't really a huge name, but he had just had a massive hit with this one. Thank You for Smoking is a fantastic film. If you haven't seen it, I strongly recommend you see it. It's really good. It's about lobbyists, basically, people that lobby government and whatnot to make sure that their products don't get banned, that they're seen in a good light, and all the workings out there. And Aaron Eckhart plays a tobacco lobbyist. And he's got friends as well. He's got two friends that call themselves, I want to say they call themselves the Triangle of Death, but it's they've got a gun lobbyist and a alcohol lobbyist as well, and the three of them meet, and it's a funny movie, is what it is. It's a very funny movie. But Aaron Eckhart in it plays a character not too dissimilar to Harvey Dent. So he plays somebody who's in politics, who's in that kind of public face of it as well. And he is an incredibly likable character, even though what he's doing is very unlikable, which kind of makes him the guy. And it made perfect sense. So anybody that's seen Thank You for Smoking, when they heard that he'd been cast as Harvey Dent, like, nailed it. That's a really good casting. And he does. I mean, you have to admit, Aaron Eckhart is fantastic in this movie. He really is. When he is going up against powerhouses in Christian Bale and Heath Ledger's performance as the Joker and Gary Oldman, Aaron Eckhart more than holds his own and really comes into his own at the end of that movie. It's a great performance. I think it's genius cast. I'm kind of glad Matt Damon couldn't do it, because I think Aaron Eckhart absolutely nails that performance. I do. So we've got him. We're good to go. Now, the Joker. So the Joker was a weird one, because before this, the only, outside of Cesar Romero, the only real known portrayal of Joker on film was Jack Nicholson, which everybody was kind of in agreement was the seminal Joker performance. It was. Before this movie was released, everybody said the same thing. We'll just get Jack Nicholson back. They're going, well, no one's going to be able to do it as Jack Nicholson. Now, if you're not of my age or older, you're probably thinking, really? Swear to God, right? So Jack Nicholson's performance of the Joker was kind of No one's going to top this. This is it. This is the peak of this. No one's going to better it. So whoever gets to do it is basically going to go, well, he ain't no Jack Nicholson, is he? That's what was going to happen. That's what everyone believed. So Christopher Nolan was conscious of this and did say this to the actors that were sort of considered for it. Now, he always said that the only person he ever considered for the role was Heath Ledger, because Heath Ledger had auditioned to be the Scarecrow, and he'd auditioned to be Batman as well. And they said at the time that we discussed this on the videos we did about Batman Begins. He said he wasn't right for it. They said, and he wasn't. They said, but we will keep you in mind, and because they knew what they wanted to do with him, and that's who they wanted for the Joker. Now, other names were banded around at the time. One of them that was constantly being reported at the time was Vincent Cassel. Now, those of you who don't know who Vincent Cassel is, he's a French actor, and he was in the Ocean's 11's movies. He was but more famously, if you know that kind of cinema, he was in La Haine. This is Vincent Cassel. So his name was banded around a lot. Now, I don't know why. I don't know if that was the film companies wanting him, because, again, at that point he had done, I want to say, Ocean's 12. And I think they wanted him. And I think they were creating the kind of buzz. But he insisted, Heath Ledger's the guy, he's like, you just got to trust me. And no one did. When the cast announcement came out that Heath Ledger was going to play the Joker, they were like, what, the guy from 10 Things I Hate About You? And people weren't happy. People were not happy. There was also, I'd say a tinge of homophobia, because his biggest performance to date was in Brokeback Mountain. He's an actor, and even if he wasn't an actor, what do you care? Do you know what I mean? It's like, so what? So there was a bit of that going on. There was, I remember this, so clearly people were not happy with Heath Ledger being cast as the Joker. But that said, people were not happy with Michael Keaton being cast as Batman. Look how that worked out. People aren't happy with Jack Nicholson being cast as the Joker. Sometimes you've got to give some faith, and you've got to go, okay, look, they've obviously seen something we haven't. They've seen a performance we haven't seen. So typically, these things, when you hear, oh God, that's serious miscasting, it turns out it's not. And then other times when you hear that someone's been casting, oh, they'll be great. Yeah, not so much. But Heath Ledger absolutely nailed the role. And again, Christopher Nolan had complete faith. He'd seen him like, trust me, this guy is good. And we didn't trust him. we didn't trust him at all. I don't believe you. I do not believe you. But we got a cast. So our cast are now kind of fleshed out. And we didn't know at the time, is Harvey Dent going to become Two-Face, or is Harvey Dent going to be Two-Face in the third one? Because that was kind of the vibe. We're thinking they're not throwing Two-Face in this as well. And no one knew, and they kept it out of the marketing as well. We just knew that Harvey Dent was there. And the marketing was fantastic. So there were three types of marketing done for this. There was marketing done for Joker specifically. So we have websites and whatnot that you could go to. Aaron Eckhart had I Believe in Harvey Dent, and that was everywhere. They made it like a viral thing. I Believe in Harvey Dent. You get the badges and things like that. And then you had Bruce Wayne stuff as well. It was clever. It was really clever, and the viral marketing was superb for it. So we've got our cast. We're good to go. We now need locations to film this in. We talked about some of the locations because they went around the world with this one, which is it's bloody impressive. We'll go in some of the locations on the next one. That's all for now. If you want to contact us, you can contact us at buildingtheboys@outlook.com. If you haven't yet, please remember to like and subscribe. We'll be back very soon with issue 60 of Hachette's Build the Batmobile Tumbler. Until then, take care. In a world where you can be anything at all, just be nice, and remember, Gotham needs us. I'll see you soon.